Valheim, all the news, none of the fluff. Let's go. We have a chunky patch in the public test branch today. This mainly has to do with a lot of fixes, some quality of life improvements, and optimizations. Yay! I'm not going to read every single one, but let's look at what's happening here and some of the ones that I think are pretty interesting. In gameplay and balance, the helmet and sword in the Mistlands will now drop iron and copper scrap as they were supposed to. Those of you that thought the Mistlands shouldn't have been nerfed will like this one. Seeker soldiers and ticks should now respawn correctly in dungeons, and starred ticks chance increase from 10% to 20% as intended, so more starred ticks. For fixes and improvements, there's a lot of these, so I'll scroll slowly through them if you want to look at each and every one. But interesting ones I thought are our button prompts are going to be in a new visual style. The build menu has been widened to avoid overlapping other interface items. Mistlands boss should no longer escape her room during rare occasions. Fix a bug that caused projectiles to sometimes miss even though it obviously should have connected. That would be annoying. Unexpected change. Durability bar on item and inventory and action bar is now visible only if the item has been damaged. Wonder why they did that. Maybe just to decrease having things on the screen? Here's a super good one. Thatch roof eye corner, 45 degree, can now support itself and will protect underlying beams from rain properly. Yay! Also, the thatch and darkwood rooftop 26 degree middle beam point fixed. Jonathan had asked if there were some things about the building mechanics that we would like changed when he was showing off this fancy new thing that's coming to the game soon. And so apparently they heard some of the feedback about some of the snapping points and things that needed to be adjusted. Quality of life items. Some of these are about controllers. They're changing the layout so it's more readable. And the build snapping is a toggle in the alternative layout and has an icon when active. Interesting, they've added a manual save button to the pause menu that displays the last save time. So when you pause now, you not only have a button there to save it, but it also shows you the last time that you saved. Crafting menus and quick use bar now have a cycling navigation when using the gamepad. You can now use the sticks to move to and from a container inventory from the player inventory directly rather than changing menu focus. And if a server is unjoinable, it's going to tell you that immediately rather than making you wait. Performance. They're doing a lot of things with the graphics and such so that the performance of the game will be better, including mountain shadows, performance in dungeons when you're using a lot of map pins like me, a lot of things in the inventory, increasing network stability and performance with crossplay, cloud saves, and optimizations for textures and fonts. Here's a peek at a new item coming with Hildr's quest. Lisa's been working on hairstyles and being able to change things while you're wearing a helmet so everything shows. They've also been working on letting you change your hair and everything while you're in the game if you want to change your style. And so they're adding in this barber station that Lisa has designed. It's looking pretty amazing, and I think a lot of people are going to be super excited about this. It's a much requested item. Remember, this is a work in progress. Right now, it's listed under the furniture section. And to craft a barber station takes fine wood, a barber kit, iron, nails, blue jute, and a workbench. If you're worried about only being able to get it late game, Jonathan did say that this is still a work in progress and what is going to be the recipe to make it hasn't been finalized. So hopefully we'll be able to get it earlier than needing blue jute. Notice this person is also wearing one of the new outfits. I don't think we've seen that outfit before, or if so, not in full length for sure. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of great decorating done with this piece. What are your ideas? Bathrooms, of course, but I mean, an office comes to mind too. We don't have a date yet for Hildr's quest, and this isn't part of the small public test branch update. So keep that in mind. It's coming in the future. Quickly place items in containers by pressing the stack all button, the what button, or shift E when looking at the box. Look at this. He's looking at the box. Stack all. So look at his inventory here. 2 different kinds of woods. Got the stack all button here, which just puts them all in there. But watch the next one. Because right now, he has rocks in his inventory. He goes up to the rocks chest, and he hits left shift E. You can see over here, and it says stack all. He didn't even open that chest. So now when he's back at the next chest, you can see the rocks are gone. He didn't even have to open the chest to put them in there. That was a rock star moment right there, Mr. Smars. Thank you, thank you. And if you've noticed lately that when you're getting your stuff out of your grave, that it no longer stacks everything so that you can get it quickly, we have let Jonathan know about this, and I'm pretty sure it's on his list to fix because he already fixed it once before, so I'm sure it'll get fixed again. Moving on to spoilers. Grimcore shared an idea that he was working on. Don't know if it's going to make it into the final, but yeah, this thing looks creepy. Some kind of skeleton mouth inside a bird face. Then we got a more full-size view of it as well. We're talking about the Ashlands here, so of course we got this red glowy stuff going on inside the creatures. The mobs in the Ashlands are dead, but not in the same way that they are in the swamp. So if this guy reminds you of something and you want to get a hint size reference, yeah, the Valkyrie that flies you in. You know how that big that thing is compared to you? And now it's dead. That's not terrifying at all. They had hinted before at more flying mobs. I bet you anything these would go out over the ocean as well. They have talked about how they are going to be throwing some things in that may make it more difficult to get to the Ashlands, including that giant bone-looking sea serpent that they showed us. So that'll be a challenge all on its own. Grim started showing us some concepts for arches in the Ashlands, and they progress pretty quickly. Archpocalypse, as he calls it. These are for the charred fortresses, and apparently this was a bit challenging to get done in Blender. But we got the curved one here. We got a couple different angles going on. Remember, just because it's there for the fortresses in the Ashlands does not mean that it's going to be buildable by players. But Grim has said that's where they start, and then if they end up deciding that it would be good for the players to have those parts, then they can move on to doing that. And of course, you know, everyone's going to want these parts. And not just the archway, look at these roofs. Grim is calling these stone slab roofs. And he's going to be testing them with the chart and working with looking at the stone style for different pieces, like he shows us here. And of course he says, don't mind this Morgan in the background. Are you kidding me? And that one is way bigger than the concept we've seen before. But this is all work in progress. We don't know. Look at the ground texture here too. Oh my gosh, we always want the stones for the bottoms too, right? If you haven't heard, Valheim is going to be released on Xbox on the 14th of March and on Game Pass. Welcome to the community, all you new Xbox players. PSA from Smithy, a lot of crashes and other issues can be resolved by doing a clean install of GPU drivers. I gotta say, I want to repeat this information. It happened to me about a month ago and about drove me crazy until I did this and it fixed everything. Subscribe for all things Valheim. Happy gaming!